Hey guys, my name's Egan. This is Hybrid Disc Golf. Today, I kind of wanted to go over the mystery boxes that are really popular around this time. I got into disc golf around October of last year, and I went pretty ham on the mystery boxes at that time. I only had like, I don't know, less than 10 discs probably, and I thought it'd be a good way to try out a lot of manufacturers. So I bought a few of them, and I have a bit of insight, and I tracked everything that came in those boxes, so I just kind of wanted to share that with the community. Maybe it'll help someone else, maybe it'll help someone choose a specific box or not get any. Whatever it may be, the info's here. I have all of this in an Excel sheet. It's going to be linked in this thread somewhere. I would think anyone can go look at it, or you can just watch through this video to get an idea of what happened. So without further ado, I'll just switch to that. So start with Discmania. I think actually we'll start with this one. This was the first one I ever bought, and I think it was on Discraft's website. Oh yeah, I have that listed here. I haven't looked at this in a long time, so I'm looking at it for the first time since about last year as well. But yeah, it was just a premium plastic mystery box, misprint mystery box, and I thought this was a good way to get into some of Discraft's disc. It was at the time Paul Macbeth's name was coming up a lot, and so naturally I looked at Discraft, and I remember, I was looking at a lot of new threads about what discs to buy, and the buzz kept coming up a lot for new players, so that's what made me go with this one first. And as you can see, I paid $90 for it. Got it November 16th of last year, almost exactly a year ago. And I kind of have it broken down. So this was the large pack, or the 10 pack. Came with 10 discs, obviously, and the breakdown was 4 distance, 2 fairway, 4 mids, and no putters or swagger. It was just premium discs. I kind of, I forget where I looked to get these prices, whether it was Infinite Disc or on the manufacturer website. It might be a mix. But I kind of put, what the price would be if you were buying these discs on your own, and just calculated, how much your savings were. As accurate as this is or not, it's a good thing. I like having it in here. So, if you were to buy each of these discs new, you'd be looking at about $180, or twice the price of what I paid for just the mystery box itself. And for me, this box was pretty good because I liked the Meteor a lot. I didn't know what this disc was until I started throwing it. The Buzz obviously is still in my bag. The Undertaker I didn't know about, and it was in my bag up until recently. I'm trying the Lots from Castoplast at the moment, which is pretty much the same flight numbers, but I may end up going back to the Undertaker because I really like it. These three I never really threw. They were too much disc for me at the time. I may be able to use them now, but at this point I'm not using them. Alright, let me just move this to the front. So that's Discraft. I would say for me, I got a lot out of this box. If I was to buy another mystery box, it would probably be a similar, premium plastic disc misprint type box. I think those are pretty cool, especially if it's from a manufacturer you're trying to learn about or get some various discs from. I think getting, three buzzes in the same box is kind of lame, but it is what it is. I've given one to my wife, and I've given one to friends, so you can never really have too many buzzes, I guess. Let's see, do I have these in any sort of order? 11, 19, 12, 2, 11, 27. Try to order them somewhat in by the dates that I bought them. So, this was my first box. It got me, 10 new discs to play around with. And I live in New England, so it's not like this was middle of November, snow on the ground. It's not like I could play very often. but it was still nice. And then I saw the MVP was doing like a Black Friday, I think it was, mystery box, and it was lab seconds, but they had a 20 disc box with a chance to get like a watermelon disc. Um, I did not end up getting that, but out of all of these mystery box that I bought, I would say this was by far the worst one, and it kind of put me off of MVP. I kind of, one of my cousin has an MVP disc he loves, and it does really good work for him, so that's why I wanted to get a few MVP molds to take a look at. But if you take a look at, the kinds of discs I got in this pack, so there's 21 discs, 2 distant drivers, 5 fairway, and 14 putters. I mean, I want to try a bunch of discs, but I don't really want 14 putters. The mid-range and fairway drivers are the discs I was mainly looking for. And I expected, somewhat decent mix, but to get 14 putt and approach discs, I thought that was kind of lame. And, I don't want to buy this pack again because of it, just because someone had to go and make this pack, so if they thought it was okay to put 14 putters in there, I don't know. But it kind of put me off of it. And especially because a lot of them were similar. Like, I think there's 3 Atoms, 3 Entropies, 2 Volts, 2 Pilots, 3 Ions. It wasn't like they were all different discs. There's a whole lot of repeats. And the discs themselves are fine. It is what it is at this point. I did like the Insanity, so that was one disc that I kind of used. I used it for a while, but overall, I would say the box is not worth it. It was $150. It wasn't like it was cheap or anything. I probably would never buy 3 of the same disc, and there was multiple sets of 3 in this box, so for me this was by far the worst of the boxes. I probably wouldn't recommend anyone get it this year either, but it's up to you. 21 discs at $150 comes out to $7 average per disc, but still $150 on a bunch of discs I'm never going to use. So although that probably rings true of a lot of these mystery boxes, it's probably better to just buy the specific discs you want. These are really good if you're new and you just want to try a whole bunch of discs at once. If you get a premium plastic mystery box, you're not going to beat that value any other way, so keep that in mind. Next was the Latitude 64 X Pack, and this one was just 3 discs. It wasn't really heavily discounted either. It was just, some unique discs you couldn't get any other way, I believe. At the time, there was a really cool Underworld print that you could only get from this pack that I had seen people post, which is why I went for it, because I was throwing an Underworld. It was like my favorite disc at the time, and so I was hoping to get that. Obviously, that didn't happen. I got the Zombie King and Fuse, although that did help me discover this Fuse, which I still keep in my bag till this day. So there is that. I would say, if you want a pack for the stamps, this one's pretty cool. If I was gonna get another mystery box this year, I would probably get this one. I like Latitude 64 discs. I think they have some pretty good molds, and the art on these was really cool. The plastic itself is really cool, so this would definitely be one that I grabbed again. So it was $50 for 3 discs, coming out to $16 each, but these are probably around $25 each. In Opto X, like Glimmer and Chameleon type of plastics. Like this King looks black, but it's green and sparkly. I don't know if you can. I don't know if that comes through, but it's like the plastic itself is really cool. Anyway, so this pack I really like. It's pricey, but at least you kind of know what you're getting. Um, Next was the actual mystery box from Discraft, not just, like a premium misprint pack. I think this was around Black Friday, 11:30. Yeah. So I got the large, which was $100. This came with more than just discs. It had some swag in it. This would be the other one I likely get again this year. I like the X Pack from Latitude and the Discraft mystery box. Those were definitely my two favorites. It came with more buzzes, which this one, the Z Buzz. This one's still in my bag now, so that's pretty cool. I found out recently that this specific one has a Wonder Bread stamp. I didn't know what that was at the time, but apparently it's pretty valuable. You could almost pay for this whole pack by itself, so that's pretty cool. I have the Zeus in my bag. I don't throw it, but it's there. The hoodie I still wear all the time, so I think that's pretty sweet. The rest of these I don't really use. The drawstring bag I brought, I had to travel to LA for work, and so I brought 3 discs and this with me. It was cool for that, but for me this was worth it just because the hoodie and the discs were good enough, and just getting swag in general. As far as value for the discs themselves, probably not that worth it. They came out to a lot more since there's only 4 discs for $100. So $25 per disc, and the discs themselves aren't even worth that. But again, I don't think you can get this anymore, and who knows what else will be in there. But overall, I still really like this pack. So that's up to you. Okay, next I bought the Dynamic Disc mystery box in large. Again, there's at this time I just wanted to try basically all the big manufacturers. That was my goal, so I kept buying things. This was 6 discs for $60, and it had a good mix: 2 distance, 1 fairway, 2 mids, and a putt and approach. I didn't actually end up throwing any of these, or putting them in my bag, I should say. So in that sense it was worthless, but getting to try all the different molds was great. I thought this was a pretty good putter, but I'm not using it, so I guess it couldn't have been that good. I didn't use the Truth much. I didn't want to throw this because I really like the plastic, but I think the Truth and the Explorer, these are both supposed to be extremely popular discs. So in that sense, for someone new, these would have been really good. But at this point, I still had, I had my 2 Discraft boxes, so a lot of those 2 discs were covered at that point. So I think this one's okay as well. All right, and last was the Discmania mystery box, also in large. So this was also 10 discs for $100, coming out to $10 average. And again, a good mix: 3 distance, 3 fairway, 2 mid, 2 approach, putt and approach. So pretty good. And this also came with this was the only way to get the Sensei at the time in this plastic. I don't know if that's still the case. I didn't particularly like this disc, especially once I discovered the Zone, which is what I think this disc does. It's like an overstable approach. But yeah, it's a good way to try new discs. The MD, I learned about the MD through this box, and this is one of my favorite discs. I lost this one, but I've replaced it. Well, no, I haven't been able to replace it because it's impossible to buy an MD, but I've been looking. So I'm looking to buy a C-Line MD to replace this one, because the disc just goes straight. Other than that, I threw the CD2 for a bit, which, same as the Undertaker, and I like both. This just happened to be in green, which gets lost a lot easier, which is why I don't throw it. The P2 was, I like throwing the P2 as a putter, but again, it didn't make my bag. I have something in there already. But overall, I think the pack is pretty decent. It's a good mix of discs, various distances, different plastics. It's a good way to try the brand and see what you think about it. So I guess the conclusion is, I would say if you're trying to get value, probably the premium disc misprint is the best one to get. Stamps, I would go with the Latitude 64X pack because you're getting brand new, unreleased style discs with pretty cool art. They're all pretty unique from what I've seen. Swag, I would go with the Discraft mystery box. I think this is probably the one I'll get again this year. I definitely don't need it, but I have a problem spending money, so it is what it is. The only one I would say don't get is the MVP box. This was so disappointing, and just don't, you know. Hopefully it's improved this year, but I would never recommend it. The rest are, you know, it was a good mix of discs. You get to try out the brand, so it depends on what you're in it for. But yeah, the spreadsheet will be down in a comment somewhere below, so check it out if you want to look and do some analysis on your own, see what you think. You can, I'm pretty sure these blow up, so you can, yeah, you can see a bigger picture of each disc if you want. So yeah, feel free to take a look, see what you think. Let me fix this. Alright, thanks for watching.